the depths of hell. God, you look horrible.
You know what? Honestly, depending on what happens tonight, that could. I feel like there is an easy and logical sequence of it. That's not that out there.
Right. Okay. So
got some shit going on.
Diving into what happened last week. The intrepid group of adventurers known as Ordos Custodes, also known as Custodes, also known as the Guardians, in common, continued their investigation into the strange happenings that are going around the city of Plona. They continued to meet with a few more individuals. Karma, the rogue tiefling, once again meeting with his contacts in the Avista and finding out the names of a few of the masked lords, this apparent group of individuals whose identities are kept very secret, who run the main business side and main political side of this this port city of Plona and the surrounding areas. He was able to find out 4 of their names, whereas Salix and Emiril went to the library at the Celestial Citadel, met an individual there, known as... Can't find his name right now, so somebody... I really not right now his name. Judar, thank you.
Yeah, I'm having laptop issues, so I can't get at my notes or roll
Judar
right now.
I'm Celestial...
He was really
Judar.
kind of out of it.
Judar, very spacey individual, kind of librarian, also assistant to the High Speaker Thajadel. Tyrion, Clarissa, and Ryven went in search of a bookstore after the entire group investigated a crime scene that appeared to be one of the places that the so-called Butcher of Plona, which after investigating the crime scene, the group was able to understand why he has been dubbed as such. They found some interesting things there, such as fiendish energy, some really insane scrapes along the walls and ground of one of the alleyways that led into the actual scene itself, and a lot of blood of what appears to be a human, or what appeared to be the remnants of a human individual, within this giant mess of a street. Tyrion, Ryven, and Clarissa went in search of a bookstore in order to find out
a shady bookstore.
Sorry, anything they could find out about a necromantic principles or rituals that might happen. Them and Salix and Emiril were able to gain some information on some form of a ritual that seems to match close to what the scene looked like, what happened at the scene, but unfortunately, there's a few things that don't fully add up, such as the thing that they were the books that they were reading through were talking about the capturing of demon souls, whereas the remnants and the body were clearly human, that they were looking into. After everybody kind of went around and was finishing up their own thing, Karma located one of the masked lords, or the so-called masked lords, or at least the person he thinks could potentially be them, known as Weeva Thorn, as she entered a building in Providence Square. after that, they all met up back at the Brass Tiger, the bar and tavern that they have been operating out of for the past 2 to 3 days now. It's approximately probably about 4 to 5 in the afternoon at this point. The sun is still kind of a very murky, cloudy day. You can tell that the sun is starting to kind of wane down onto the horizon, and it is here that we pick up our story. We find out what the adventurers would like to do. So, you all reconvene and find yourselves back at the Brass Tiger, having spent some time talking over kind of what you found, what you've heard. So, what is the plan?
Okay. Before we get into it, I was gonna ask this last week, but I didn't want to interrupt the excellent narrative flow that we had going on. Seeing as we're investigating like fiendish, demon type stuff, is there any general knowledge that Tyrion would have regarding demons that you could think of that I might need to know or could know?
Make a history check.
I will happily do that. So I've had to resort to folding up my D&D sheets and placing them in my player's handbook because my new cat likes to snack on them.
Of course.
Alrighty. History check. Ooh, good roll to start the evening. 17.
Fiendish entities and demons, normally come from the Seven Hells, or not the Seven Hells, the Nine Hells. A plane of existence that is very separate from this material plane. Demons, you are aware, are oftentimes very difficult to kill. They come in all different shapes and sizes that you're aware of. Oftentimes, it does require the energy of some form of cleric or paladin individual, some individual that is normally associated with gods or who has very, very strong magic. Have also been known to destroy these demons as well. Oftentimes many of them are very cunning, are very manipulative, and like to be very aggressive with some of their actions as well. As to exactly what demons... you having never actually fully encountered demons themselves, this is all information you would have gained from chats and talks with your mentor. But having never actually encountered demons or gone through any of these types of things, this is probably partially very new territory. But you do have some knowledge on them.
All right, so I have some general background. Thank you very much.
You've got some general background of them, but you have never personally had to deal with any of them yet.
All right.
Outside of character, we've met like in somebody's room before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we were in a Murals or.
Yeah, you're in mine.
Yeah, Murals.
Okay, so in character then.
And some
guys,
guards have met in Clarissa's.
Guys, there's some
tavern.
information that I would
Different
like
tavern.
to share. There's some information I'd like to share with you guys, but it can't be told out here. Should we go to? I think it was a Mural's room we met last time.
Unless we always go to the dark room and then turn on silence. Can we just speak? Well, I mean, we are in the habit of loudly announcing our intentions in crowded bars, and this is a crowded bar, so...
Yeah, we'll just speak quietly.
Let's just go get the conversation over with, and I don't mind.
I'm sure if need be.
So defeated.
I mean, Emerald kind of always sounds a little defeated.
It's true.
We gotta cheer her up. She's having a rough go of it.
All right, so I'm gonna stand up and start walking to the room then.
Make your way up to the room. You do what you need to do in order to make it safe to talk, in your opinion.
Okay. Does that include did Salix cast silence and stuff?
Yes.
Thank you, Salix.
Meanwhile, I've been very engrossed in my tome, and I'm gonna look up and wonder where everyone went.
Alright, you look up and wonder where the hell everyone went because nobody's sitting around you at the bar at this point.
So
I will venture upstairs and hopefully stumble across someone.
You venture upstairs, they find the door just beginning to shut right as Salix is finishing his incantation. You see a slight flash of arcane energy appear just as the door clicks into place. You
Ooh,
open the
before
door.
it does that, I'm gonna slide in Kramer style.
Okay, go for it. So
I
you
slide in Kramer style.
slide in Kramer style, and door just click, and you're set, and you are in the room.
So I already told Salix and Emerald this last week, so I was to catch them in the sanctuary. But was able to find out who 3 of the Masked Lords are, or at least information on them. And I'm gonna kind of just go over outside of character. I'm gonna go over the 3 that what I told them. So Asher, childlike individual, Weave a Thorn. Tell him about what I found in the Celestial Sanctuary, and then Danbriar Voxereth.
Oh snap!
So, to my knowledge, they're meeting tomorrow to determine Seljan's fate. We need to change their minds if we can, or if not, at least be able to maybe, I was thinking maybe follow them to where they're going to meet to talk about it. What do you guys think?
Well, Drambriar Voxereth is probably not here, right? It would take them a few days to travel from Eros if he left and we did.
Well, depends if he's going through the Lyceum like we did.
Yeah, he's a businessman. Probably not.
That's very
I'd be
true.
surprised.
Or he might have a proxy.
He might have a proxy. Either way, it's more than likely he has some property in the city. We could inquire about that.
Do you think Brea knew he was a Masked Lord and didn't tell us?
No.
I get the feeling that their relationship is not that close, but either way. So, just a quick, we are on, they're supposed to meet the next day, and as far as we know, Skittles is going to be executed the day after that. Or am I a day behind?
Based on what you've heard, based on what you've heard from the guards and from just kind of public opinion, you're expecting the Masked Lords to make a decision on tomorrow, which would be day 3, and then you're expecting the execution to happen quickly after that. How quickly that is, you're not sure, but it could be a day, could be 2 days, could be a couple hours. You're not sure.
Gotcha. All right. Well, we could try and locate one of them ahead of the meeting.
Well, I happen to have already located one of them.
Oh, well, that's very relevant information.
Well, you said that they're highly guarded. That's going to be an issue.
Well, it's never stopped us before.
Well,
Not to follow them to where they're meeting. I mean, we wouldn't be assaulting them in the street. That's not our goal.
Well, knowing us, I wouldn't rule it out.
as you know, shit happens.
Yes. So, well, I don't personally feel that this requires the whole group to look into, as that makes it a little bit harder to go about things inconspicuously, and we don't know yet if the demon attacks are actually connected to Salgent, and in fact there's a lot about that we don't know, so I would like to spend today looking into that.
I would like to as well.
Yeah, you could use somebody familiar with the arcane, I think. I will help you out with
was
that.
actually going to request your assistance, and Amiral, you said you would like to look into that as well?
Well, not really, but I'm gonna have to learn about this one way or another.
Certainly. Well, and Salix, you are a cleric of Helm, I feel like.
I'm with you. Agreed.
So, Karma and Riven. Would you care to look into the unlocking the presence of this, or unlocking the location of this Mass Lord?
Sure. Why not? We have that, or we can go on a demon, but I feel like the demons might... Or is it a demon? Do we know if it's a demon?
There is fiendish energy. We don't
Fiend.
really know anything for sure.
I couldn't remember if we said demon or fiend.
Well, the ritual is demonic, I think.
Yes.
And, I mean...
You're aware that the ritual itself has to deal... Where the ritual that you saw has very similar... it has very similar details and parts of it that you saw at the crime scene that have to deal with trapping the soul of a demon. So it's slightly confusing when you see
right, because we're talking about human remains.
We're very, very human remains.
Okay. Okay. That's what I thought.
There's probably a little bit more investigation that might look into that.
Absolutely. But I can tell you, when we were at the crime scene and I used my Paladin mojo, the area was permeated with energy that comes from fiends.
Well, you said that the ritual takes a human or a demon soul back.
It traps it.
It traps it. Now, what if you did the reverse?
And released a demon soul?
Well, sacrifice a human to release a demon.
I wouldn't know because I don't practice necromancy. So what I was going to suggest is we figure out where we could find some sort of necromancer or someone who at least has knowledge of necromancy and its practices. It was pretty easy to find a book.
We need to go to talk to the Blackspire in the Grey Hand?
I would...
Speaking of, don't you have to do
Blackspire?
something tonight?
Isn't that the prison?
No. He's talking about the creepy artifact seekers.
Oh, right.
The ones that have been following us all day?
Mm-hmm.
Helping.
Following.
You can
Crap at me.
follow and help. Regardless, they're not going anywhere, and they haven't impeded us yet, so... I don't feel like we need to discuss them any further.
So when are we going to meet up here, guys?
We'll return as soon as we have relevant information regarding either issue, and eventually the other group will show up.
All right, Raven, should we get going?
Sure.
All right, let's go.
All right, so Riven and Karma exit the room, head out of the tavern, begin making their way. Where are you making your way to?
Where are we?
Well, I figured that they would
thought
finish
you were
up the
leading this
conversation
part.
first, and I mean, whatever you want to do, Shadow.
No, this is on you guys. I don't know what you're doing. You said
Well, no,
you wanted
I was just saying they were in the middle.
When somebody
of a
when someone says
conversation.
you want to go, let's go, and then okay, that normally means they're walking out the door.
Yeah, it does. But what I was saying is that they were in the middle of a conversation. I didn't want to interrupt that with just us walking out and starting our own conversation. So if the other group wants to start a conversation,
We're
first,
still in the middle of the conversation. We can come back to it.
Okay. All right, so Raven,
Yes.
what do you think?
Of
I told you about the 3 people.
Yes.
What do you think?
I mean, I don't really know much about Masked Lords. I mean, their name's kind of ominous, but that doesn't always mean they're bad. I kind of have a feeling that they might be involved in some way, but I can't really tell how.
All right, so
I mean, I'm a fan of breaking him out, personally. That's my thoughts, but
so maybe just get some general knowledge on them, anything that we can find out for now.
I mean, your Avista that you so commonly like to claim that you're part of, they deal in information. Maybe you could trade them some information for what the hell the Masked Lords actually are.
I think we have a good idea of what they actually are. They're the puppeteers. They're the puppet masters that pull the strings in the city. They decide, what's going to happen, more or less. And they've decided that Skittles is going to be death. By the way, I'm going to look behind us to see if anybody's following.
Make a perception check.
Oh, that's a good roll. That's 25. No, 22. Plus 6, plus 3, so 22.
All right. You make it about 3 or 4 blocks from the Brass Tiger, and you do notice that a single individual is following you with wearing a gray cloak at this point. Doesn't seem to be doesn't seem to be aggressive towards you. Doesn't seem to be trying to super hide his presence. He's just following
They
you
want
at
us
safe-
to be aware
at
that they're there.
at a safe distance at this point.
You want to lose them? I'm gonna whisper.
Absolutely.
Stealth rolls.
Stealth checks from both of you.
Stealth twin powers activate. Form
That's
of.
25.
The monk
Karma,
is
what'd you get?
stealthier than the rogue.
Oh, love it.
The Shadow Monk? Yeah, he is.
Karma, what'd you get?
24.
Just be careful you two don't lose each other.
So, just a quick nod to each other, you both off into separate directions down separate alleys, double back on your trail, and do a bunch of other maneuvers throughout the city to lose the individual that is following you.
All right.
What's
After
the name of
a few blocks, you eventually re-meet back up, and you glance around, and he does not appear to be following you anymore.
Do we
Nice
care
moves.
that they're following us? I mean, I like losing tails, but should we be worried that they're keeping us?
I think it's friendly. Or not necessarily friendly, but I don't think that they're openly hostile to us, obviously. I think they're just trying to keep an eye on it, but I agree. Best to leave our business to ourselves.
I'm not a huge fan of them, but they're more fun to toy with than anything right now.
Anyway, so do you want to just go and kind of see what we can see for now?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really have a plan following you other than some basic backup. I mean, there's nothing... You know my thoughts on how to get this guy out. Direct approach, go in, get out, even though that's probably going to be the worst decision ever. I feel like we can do it.
Okay. Well, I kind of scouted Weave of Thorn by myself earlier. Do you want to go... who do you think we should go after next? The only information I have on the first one is just that there's a child individual, and the other one is Boxera. Do you want to go see if there's...
means by child individual? Do you know what that means by child? Is it an actual child, or is it somebody who looks like a child, or
a child or small individual who can who can
Clarissa?
disappear with no one following is what I have in my notes here. What I was told.
So
So I mean, it might be a halfling
okay.
or no.
Clarissa's a small individual, but she's not a child. Although she acts like a child.
Could be. Do you want? I think probably be easiest if we try and find some Voxerith holdings here in town and see if who's in charge there. Maybe.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Okay, let's go do that.
All right. Make an investigation check.
17.
Yeah. 1.
Riven's no help whatsoever. As a matter of fact, Riven gets as you're walking by a store and a window. Riven catches sight of his own reflection in the window and just stands there for a good solid 5 minutes, just admiring how his new robes look on himself, admiring the way that he can just pull out a dagger and then have it disappear back within the folds of his robe before anyone notices. Karma, it takes a good solid 3 minutes to just get him to move after that point.
I'm gonna grab his elbow. Hey, they're very nice robes. We kind of have something to do here. Come on.
It still takes you a good solid 3 minutes to get him to move.
Come on, let's go.
I'm easily distracted by shiny things.
Much is obvious. Over the course of the next half hour, you are able to find a dock down at the docks. You're able to find a couple of individuals who work for the Voxerith trading family. They kind of point you in the direction of their main office. Eventually, you come upon farther in towards more of the more kind of business district area of the city. You find a small kind of two-story house building, two-story building-ish that has different windows, a few doors, slanted roof, and a sign over it that just says Voxerith, the Voxerith trading company is probably fine. So you're currently sitting outside of that.
All right, so I guess I'll go in.
I'm gonna stagger in so it doesn't look like I'm exactly with him.
Okay. As you go up to the front door, you push and door's locked.
Ah, shoot. What time is it? I'm gonna look up in this.
It's
Trying to gauge.
roughly about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. It's getting later in the day at this point. You notice that carts and people are no longer milling about on the road as much. There's still a few people walking back and forth, but it's not nearly as busy as it normally is. So
I'll knock on the door.
wait probably a good 2 minutes. No one answers.
Well, I guess. What do you think, Riven? Should we go and see if we can find anything else about? Well, I don't really know anything that we could find out about Asher.
He's talking to the person easily distracted by shiny things along the walk here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good mission. Let's go and report our success, I think.
Mission accomplished.
Okay. After that, you turn around and begin making your way back to the Press Tiger. Unless there's anything else you want to do. So,
I'm good. I did all my shopping in chat last week.
While they're doing that, Clarissa, Tyrion, and Emil and Salix, what are you guys doing?
Well, I actually have an idea, guys, if we're interested in pursuing research in necromancy, but I don't know how feasible it is, because it would require us to return to Eros.
Well, it's a little early in the evening. We certainly should not do that without letting Riven and Karma know. They might worry about us.
She just kind of chuckles at that. Yeah, right.
We can always send a message to pause in Arrows too.
We could do that.
We could, but the thing I'm thinking of, I doubt he'd be able to access.
Felix?
Well, he's the keeper of things, so
Yeah, but
something that he
I'm,
doesn't know, you're in trouble.
yeah, but do you think Texria would let him into their vaults to give us access to that tome of necromancy we retrieved from that other dimension we saved Brea from? I highly doubt it.
Well, that book was not the book that we are concerned about. That was the book about lichdom, not about necromancy.
Ah, but they are related.
They're related, but we don't need that book.
And given the differences in what, you guys are going on and on about this Demon Souls business. I think that they might be connected somehow.
They're not.
Just a suggestion. We could pursue it, or we could continue to sit here and mope around, which you are doing an outstanding job of. Continue to mope.
Fair enough. Emerald, what makes you so sure they're not related?
Well, Hey, Shadow,
Yes.
what was the name of the person that was technically in charge of Texria that we were dealing with the most?
The individual you were dealing with the most would have
Yeah.
been
Maya.
Maya, yeah.
Well-
Maya's the individual who you got the sense she, from what you remember, she was the assistant to the lead and main arcanist, or the head arcanist,
Okay.
who you promptly killed.
Yes.
But you also got the sense that while you were there, Maya seemed to be the one who was also kind of in charge of everything that was going on
Yeah.
at Texria, and kind of the surrounding areas, almost seeming like that she was kind of doing the Arcanist's job for him at times, from what you could tell.
Well,
Kinda
Maya was.
the vibe you got.
Well, Maya was pretty sure that that book was a book of lichdom and was not to be opened by anybody who was not willing to proceed down that road.
Nah.
And that
It's a book. How bad can it be?
bad enough that we almost lost somebody.
Yeah, but that wasn't because of the book. That was because of the completely crazy person who just happened to possess the book. It's an important difference.
Exactly. Crazy person possessing book, not good idea. I kind of just go, "Are you serious?" Sort of hands like, look, like, come on.
This coming from the person who's afraid to show her face anywhere.
In
I
all
think
fairness,
you're just
she should
afraid.
be afraid to show her face anywhere.
Why do you think I look like this? And I kind of just hand over my face, like.
I thought you looked good now.
You do look
Well,
good
you
now.
look better.
I look better, but before I looked like somebody chewed me up and spit me out. Thank you very
Fair
much.
enough.
You look a lot better now.
I do look a
Okay.
lot better.
Look, I'm just saying we don't seem to be having much success anywhere else. It's just a possibility.
That is a good possibility, but we also have not pursued the line of necromancy directly yet. So let's see what we can find in this city. Salix, do you have any thoughts?
I do not.
Salix.
And the puppeteer controlling Salix may or may not be putting things away in his office. But Salix, no, I do not have any thoughts other than what you guys think is best.
Well,
Fair enough. Well, I personally think we should talk to the Black Spire and see what they know about necromancy and whether such a ritual is possible. My thought, if such a ritual, because from what I found in this book that a charming young book owner helped me find, this ritual is used to trap demon souls, but it's not identical to what we saw. It's just similar. Perhaps there are necromantic rituals to do the same with human souls.
to release.
Or perhaps we could use it to
No, not to. I mean,
this-
possible to release, but no. I'm thinking perhaps someone is harvesting human souls.
Or maybe it's a solution to help us dispatch this creature.
Either way, we need more information.
The Black Spire may have it.
I'm almost certain that someone in their organization must have it. Whether or not they will give it to us is another story.
You can leave that to me. I'm very persuasive.
That's true. I too can have my moments, but it seems like these magic types. Well, you seem to speak their language.
You stick to charming booksellers. You're quite good at that.
Alright. What's the plan?
All right, let's head over to the Black Spire. Amiral, are you sticking with this guys, or are you gonna feline it up?
I'll just stick with the disguise. She already knows I exist there, so not any worth hiding my identity now.
All right.
Does she?
Well, she looked at Karma, and I was in Karma's bag.
That was more of a comment directed at Karma due to him being involved in the Avista. You were just in his bag. That was not, from what I remember, not being a comment directed at you. Just for clarification's sake. Anyways, okay, so
Well, if need be, I can always just...
I'm just clarifying. Okay.
Alrighty.
If Amiral believes that she is aware of that, then that is how Amiral will act, and that is where we go. So, so you make your way to Blackstone Spire. Did I get that right? Blackstone Pillar, sorry. It's a slight difference. Okay. They are basically the same thing. You make your way to the Blackstone Pillar. You once again see this very large obsidian sharp spire shooting out from this kind of circular square. I feel like I should really know what that's called. It shoots up pretty high. Seems the same as you originally last left it.
Okay, everybody.
Currently standing outside. It's about 6 o'clock. The crowds are kind of dying down right now. But all right.
Okay, well, Clarissa, perhaps you could help us find the entrance? Because I think last time it was a little difficult.
Yeah, pay no attention to that strange popping sound you hear. There's definitely in no way a human controlling me making popcorn in the background.
Well, that does sound rather unlikely, so I'll take your word for it.
There's no magic on the fritz again.
Most of you kind of stare at her and think about why a human would be controlling Clarissa and why she would be making popcorn. And when she says background, you look around and be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Cool. So here, can I roll a quick history check and see if I know what popcorn is?
Yeah.
I can't make this up. That's a natural 1. Shadow, take it away.
I rolled a 13, by the way, on the history.
She mentioned this weird thing called popcorn. You're not sure if it's like a food that gnomes eat, or whether or not it's something that like all cultures enjoy, or whether or not it's some form of sexually transmitted disease that she might be trying to get rid of. You're not really sure. But you think you might be getting close as she continues to describe this weird popping noise that seems to come from what is known as a bag and a microwave. You've got no clue on what she's really talking about, and you're just like, yeah. You take a side step away and...
No, never mind. It's a gnome thing.
You sure it's a gnome thing? I've dealt with a few gnomes. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, but you haven't dealt with any real gnomes. The gnomes you dealt with must have been fake gnomes.
I roll my eyes.
Alright.
Anyway, everybody touch my body in some fashion. You have to touch me in order for us to get in.
Hey now, take me out for dinner first.
Wow, from the
How
cleric.
how about coffee?
I'm just gonna try walking through behind. I'm not gonna touch her.
Okay. So,
Alright, I'm gonna put my hand on one shoulder. Or I guess probably like a fingertip. I don't know. That.
After your imagination running away, you kind of maybe just take your pinky and just kind of go.
I meant height difference. I'm not like afraid of her. I've seen way crazier things than her mention of food I've never heard of. So that I'm not intimidated by this information. Let's just
Fair.
be real here.
Fair. All right, so you place one hand on her head. Because that's probably about where it comes up to. Salix, what are you doing?
The same. Going with them.
Salix. You place your hand on Clarissa's on Clarissa's shoulder, and you have to kind of bend down slightly a little bit more. You guys walk. All of you walk towards the Blackstone pillar, and bop! You slam. You all kind of just do a slight little bounce. Not enough to take damage or anything, but you like kind of just bounce off the wall.
Yeah.
Clarissa.
Well,
Clarissa, is something wrong?
that and she will put her hand on the tower and like kind of just reach out like to the tower itself using message
Okay.
and say like, "I'm back. Can I come in?"
No response.
I look
Yeah.
over my shoulder. Do I see that guy following us?
Make a perception check. Actually, you don't even need to do that. He's not making himself really. He's not trying to hide. Like you see him clearly. He's far back, leaning against the wall at this point, enjoying an apple. But
I look at the group. Should we go get him?
Oh, there's no need to go over there. Clarissa will turn and look at him and say, "Hey, how do I get in?" With message, obviously.
okay, you try to send message to him, and you are met with a form of resistance that you're not used to meeting when using message. Seemingly, the message does not go through.
Well, that's odd. He's more of a brick wall than most of you people. No offense.
I can't be offended. I don't really even know what you mean, Clarissa.
I've been
Well-
part of the brick wall. I know what she means.
I'm not sure if we can just come and go here freely. I'm not actually a part of this organization like I was with the Institute back in Eros.
Well, with the information that we found, I think it would be quite valuable for them, wouldn't it not?
Perhaps.
Well, maybe, but we'd have to tell them the information we found first.
Unless they already know. And they already know that we know. And if they know that we know what we know, and that continues for a couple seconds.
Clarissa, are you trying to just say that we know too much?
Yeah, sure. Something like that. That works.
Really, because I constantly get the feeling that we don't know enough.
Apparently.
Well, they certainly can't be the only magical presence in this town. Perhaps we can head to the merchant district,
Well,
see if there aren't any mages for hire.
Yeah, I'm sure you don't want me to start throwing fireballs at the building, because I'm sure that would attract attention, but I don't know if that would get us invited back in.
Clarissa.
It would definitely
Well-
be fun, though. She looks like she's seriously considering it.
Yeah.
Clarissa.
Well, we could always call that Plan B. How do we feel about looking for a little mage with some capitalist motivations?
Well, there's one in the alleyway just down the road. He's part of the organization here. We can ask him if he decides to talk to us.
Okay.
Well, he didn't want to talk to me via message, and any mage that's too good to speak via magical message is not one I want to associate with.
He probably has good reason. Because
Well-
otherwise he'd been spammed with a lot of messages. Thank you very much.
And all of you get this flashback to when Clarissa's voice just pops into your head. Sometimes without you actually really caring to hear it.
Oh, I don't know. I never seem to mind.
Well, fine. I said, well, what? Should we just all go over there as a group?
I don't see why
mean-
not. Let's go.
Can I, Nathan? Can I tell if he detected me trying to talk to him, or if it was more just like a passive? I'm not taking any calls right now.
Literally just felt like the message just kind of ran, like you, ran into a brick wall. It didn't even feel like it, didn't even feel like it hit him.
Ah, okay.
And you would know what that feels like, because we literally just did that.
We've done that on several occasions, to be fair.
We have.
Okay. You, as your group, make your way back down the road that you just walked. You just see this individual in a gray cloak, just kind of leaning against the wall, slowly eating an apple. You eventually make your way up close to him.
Hi.
The individual stares intently at his apple, continues eating, and says, "Hello."
We are looking to get into the Institute. We found some information on your issue in the city.
What information? He takes another bite of his apple.
Well, I think our paladin is perhaps best equipped to fill you in on that. It is his area of expertise.
Very well, little gnome. You may or may not have heard this, since a member of your order has been given this information. But we have uncovered... Wait. Nathan, before I start talking, sorry. I would like to use my divine sense to make sure this guy is not a fiend or a demon or...
Okay.
Whatever. Or an angel. I mean, he could be an angel. It's just
Go
a
for it.
thing that happens.
Yeah. You take a sec, like, as Clarissa's kind of trying to pass it off to you, you just take a second, your eye, there's a slight, like, little flicker of arcane energy in your eyes real fast, where, in your general area, how wide's the area on this, out of curiosity?
Sorry.
Don't die. I'm the one dying.
I forgot. I can't exhale and talk at the same time.
Right.
60 feet. Yes.
60 feet? Okay. Oh, okay, so within... Okay. Doesn't seem
Yeah, I
like there's
can't
any...
like sense the whole city
Yeah,
or anything.
doesn't seem like, doesn't seem to be fiendish or anything. Doesn't seem to be any different. Just seems like a normal individual.
Okay, cool. So I say all the things I said before I interrupted, and continue with saying that these horrific crimes that have been perpetrated about the city have fiendish origins. Their foul presence permeated the entire crime scene. There's clear evidence of necromantic activity, and this is a field of study with which we have no familiarity, and are looking for someone who could possibly answer some questions.
Or even just to access some resources like a library or something where we might do some study to get more details.
He looks down at you as you mention library and says, "If you're looking for a library, Celestial Citadel's got one."
Yes, but I was referring to a library in the more magical sense. You know, think big, tall bookshelves, books filled with spells, floating between shelves, brushes that sweep the floor automatically, that sort of thing.
So you can steal our knowledge so you can steal our knowledge and flaunt it about the city willy-nilly, and even into this world. Yeah, sounds like a good plan.
I'm not here to steal anything, mister. We're trying to help your city.
That's what any magician trying to steal our secrets would say. However, looking into necromantic practices, at this point he takes one final bite of his apple, throws the core away. Necromancy within this city has not been tolerated for some years. Mostly around the world, it is not tolerated. The Celestial Citadel outlawed it many years ago. Even the Blackstaff herself doesn't even condone this type of magic. She is the one who, if she ever hears of it, will send a force of Grey Hands out immediately, and sometimes even her more elite task force, the Force Grey, to deal with it, if need be.
And yet it has clearly been happening right under your noses, so perhaps it is in your best interest to lend us the aid we wish, instead of making wild accusations.
Just because there's
About
fiendish
our
energy doesn't mean
intentions.
it's necromantic.
No, certainly it does not.
But
He pulls out another apple from somewhere in his cloak and begins eating on that one too.
why do you have more than one apple? Isn't it customary just to eat one at a time?
He just stares at you and just takes another bite. Because I like them.
Well, to be fair, I do eat entire plates of muffins, so your point is well taken. Anyway, we are convinced that necromancy is at play here because of the nature of the butcher's victims. It appears as though some necromantic dark ritual is at play. And our paladin, again, is best equipped to provide more details, because as a good, honest magician who would never try to steal your secrets, hint, hint, I do not know of such evil things.
Little gnome, you said hint hint out loud.
What? Oh, just, it's a lot like popcorn. It just happens.
My eyes just kind of widen with a hint of confusion at the mention of the word popcorn.
So let me get this straight. This ritual that you're looking into at this point with these murders, I believe it has some form of necromantic implications.
It's more than possible.
Have you seen undead walking around this place?
Well, we've only just got here a few days ago, but
Necromancy
not-
has to deal with the undead and raising corpses most of the time back from, well, wherever the hell they go to afterward, and using them for their own devices. Normally has nothing to do with the souls themselves.
but what about lichdom?
What about it?
Yes,
Well-
Clarissa, what about it?
Well, suffice to say, long story, let's just say we've dealt with lich-type things before, and I have a nagging feeling in my gut that something like that is at play here. Is it possible that maybe someone in the city is seeking to attain that dark status, and that these murders are somehow a part of that? Now, none of us here have the knowledge to say that for sure, but it certainly seems possible.
You see kind of like a quizzical look go on his face, and then he, like, almost as though he's trying to recall something, and then he says, "From what I know about lichdom, why don't you so callously put it, is that it is a practice for magicians and wizards and sometimes even warlocks who are searching for even higher power, that they end up having to take a very, very winding road of murder, poisons, and other darker arts that they imbue within their own body that they have to do. If a magician was able to kill this many people this quickly, every couple days, and we truly have become lax within our own city. But according to the Blackstaff, no large magical energy has been happening throughout the city that is associated with wizards and warlocks.
but isn't it possible that the magical disturbance caused by whatever that artifact is that the Celestial Sanctuary possesses could mask something more subtle beneath the surface? And then she will give a technical explanation that she remembers from her studies about how she theorizes something like that might work. And I will happily roll an
While
Arcana
this
check to see how
technical
horribly I screw this up.
Yeah, while all that is happening.
explanation is going on, I've sort of stopped paying attention to the conversation.
Yeah.
Because the popcorn thing is still just, it's bugging me. You know? Like,
Yeah,
but
I'm looking at.
I'm
your-
embarrassed.
I
I don't want to ask anyone about it because it seems like the people around me know,
I don't.
and I'm a little haughty. So I don't want to, like. Anyway.
Okay.
I got an 18 for that Arcana roll.
He actually stops eating his apple at that point and says, "It's possible. But, to the best of my knowledge, we Grey Hens have our close eye on this city. So whenever those miracles are happening, we can normally tell whether or not something else is happening within their area. However, it is something I will bring up with the Black Staff, and to get her thoughts on it.
Well, I suppose that is all we can ask. And perhaps you can tell her that Clarissa the Magnificent gave you that idea. And since I think we rudely forgot to ask, what's your name? I like to know the names of the people I'm talking to. I mean, I could just call you Apple Boy, but I doubt you would like that.
Hunter. Name's Hunter. Takes another bite of his apple.
That's a rather odd name. We knew a hunter once. It didn't work out.
I'm just gonna facepalm and walk away at this point.
All right, well then, Hunter, I suppose there isn't much more we can do here. I imagine it is up to the Black Staff to decide whether or not we will be given access to your resources to help you stop the scourge plaguing your city. I presume that you'll find some way to get in contact with me if she wants to speak with us.
We're always watching.
I look over my shoulder.
And yet, for those who are always watching, you seem to miss quite a bit in your own streets. May I have an apple?
Make a persuasion roll with disadvantage.
With disadvantage. Okay.
You just insulted him.
That was yes.
You
Dude,
just
I'm-
backhanded insulted him.
Yeah, I'm a little haughty.
Regardless of it, whether or not it's true or not,
I'm
you
just saying,
insulted
okay.
him.
So, 13. Oh, 19. Oh, okay. So 13 and persuasion is 19 total.
Okay. He looks you up and down. Looks down at the apple that he's currently eating. Looks back at you. Throws you the apple that he's currently eating. Just kind of folds his arms over his chest and says, "There's your apple."
How many bites has he taken out of this apple?
About 3. About 3 large bites. Like half of it's gone at
3.
this point. Do you catch it? Do you just let it drop to the ground? This is more for story's sake.
Okay. I'm gonna catch it.
Okay.
Didn't he throw another apple away?
Yeah, that one's like he threw that down an alley that he was standing by.
All right. So I'm gonna catch it
Okay.
and say, rude, but just as well. It's not very good to litter, and I'm just gonna walk away.
All right, you do.
And I'm going to dispose of the apple where I see an appropriate
Yeah.
place.
You
to
take
do
it.
so
You take
as
it.
soon as
You
possible.
walk. You make it about like halfway down the street. You find an appropriate place, chuck it away.
Don't worry, Tyrion. I'm sure Mrs. Happy-Go-Lucky Nature Lady over there will gleefully grow you an apple, right? I look at Meryl.
Well, technically, if I had one of the seeds, I could grow a tree or start growing a tree, but that would take at least a month or at least 8 hours with a good spell. Ugh.
I'm just gonna look at him. You can grow trees?
With the right magic, yes.
Uh-oh,
That
he's
is-
got a thing for trees.
Very interesting. We should all have a thing for trees. They're very necessary.
Alright. You make
Let
your way
us.
back. You continue walking along the street. Where do you guys go to?
Well, I said we might as well just check out the library at the Celestial Citadel.
I look at
Yeah,
Zach
might
and
as
go,
well.
here we go again.
But here, what goes? All right, off to the library.
I'm just imagining. All I'm imagining when Tyrion's doing this is just him raising one finger to the air, putting a hand on his hip, and saying, "To the library!"
I could
And-
do that.
That's what I'm imagining. I'm just imagining, like, I have like a full-blown Avatar: The Last Airbender Sokka moment happening right now in my head. It's exactly what's happening. Everyone else is just kind of staring at him as he continues to walk down the street. Anyways,
Yeah.
you eventually make your way to the Celestial.
Companions, to the library.
You eventually all make your way to the Celestial Citadel.
I mean, I know
Tyrion
you were doing a
leading the
little
char-
RP for me, but I feel like I should do the RP myself. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry. That's just where my brain went to. That was completely out of character. You eventually make
One
your,
might
all
even
make your
say
way
it
to-
was inspired.
Anyways, you all make your way to the Celestial Citadel eventually again, finding your way into through the main portion of the temple. The two reflecting pools is still as ever. The lights, the candles floating on the water within most of the reflecting pools. Once again, still more in Bahamut's reflecting pool than the one that has Tiamat. Although you do still see pockets of light floating around in Tiamat, in the pool that is around Tiamat.
I'm going to go up to my shrine.
Okay. You make your way to your shrine. Everyone else makes their way back to the library.
I'm going to take a look around to see if anyone's near.
I have a feeling Hunter is still following us, or someone.
Yeah. 11. Of course, I don't have it with me. Let's grab this. Perception is 18.
You look around. I mean, there's people at different shrines and different alcoves throughout the sanctuary, but no one seems to really be paying much attention. There's a few individuals at this shrine, mostly human, just seem to be kind of tending to the garden and tending to the, like, because this alcove is more of, like, this is a fairly deep, like, all these alcoves are fairly deep. They go back in a good, like, probably about like 6 to 10 feet in, like, into the wall. They're fairly large. They're fairly, like, wide too. Like, they're like, it's almost like a good sized hallway that you could walk down, but they all kind of end in, like, this kind of rounded back area.
Which I'm going to go into.
Yeah, I mean, like there's plenty of room down it, but this shrine, it has that tree that's growing out. Or no, this one doesn't have the tree. This one just has, like, the very beautiful garden that's kind of, like, that is, like, very pretty much grown, like, out of the rocks in this area, in this little alcove.
Is there like a water source there?
Well, there's a small little trickle of water coming out from the top of the ceiling that kind of dribbles down the back of dribbles kind of down this, like, back of the wall into a small pool that then kind of seems to filter down all the way to the front of the down, like, this little trough to the very front of the alcove, but stops there.
Is it just me in there, or there's other
There's a few
people?
other people in there. There's a few others kind of just tending to the garden as well. You get the sense that it's not just you who comes and tends to this garden. There's a few other
Oh.
individuals. There's, like, not even a few, but you get the sense that this is kind of like a communal thing. This is more a way that people are able to show their gratitude and their thanks and praise to. I'm gonna fuck up the name. I don't remember it off the top of my head.
Seraphine or Seraphine or
Yeah, Seraphane or something like that.
Seraphine, yeah.
Yeah, Seraphane.
I'm just gonna do my prayers and tend to it. Once I notice they start like there's no one else in the alcove but me, if depending on how long it takes, I would like to draw my weapon and put it on the water. Since I had that incident with her, and see if that does anything.
Whisper me what you're wanting to do without being like so like trying to like non-descriptive, because I'm drawing a blank on what you're trying to do while I get everyone else situated.
Yeah, get everybody else situated.
Yeah, just whisper me that either through GroupMe or through Roll20.
Yep.
So the rest of you make your way back towards the to the library. This part of you open up Salix opens up a door and shows you the library. This place is a lot more sunshiny as it can be on a cloudy
What time
day.
of day is it?
It's at this point probably pushing 7 to 8. So like the city is getting darker. I mean, so like there is still like some light peeking in through the windows at this point, but you are noticing like little torches that are currently lit along the walls to give this area more light.
And quickly to Tyrion, what are we trying to accomplish by coming here?
More information about the ritual.
Yeah,
So
hey.
it's-
I already went through all the books. We're not going to find anything else.
Yeah, but Salix. You seem like the kind of guy who knows a lot about gods and stuff, right?
That's true, yes.
So this library, as I imagine, if you were strictly looking for, specifically magical tomes, you're going to be sorely disappointed. It's not the sort of thing that you would find in a religious place like this. That being said, to your knowledge, are there any gods who are patrons of the sort of dark arts of necromancy and attainment of lichdom and demonology and those sort of things? Perhaps we need to maybe broaden our horizons a little bit.
Okay. Alright, so we start looking.
What are you looking for?
What Clarissa just described.
Okay. Are you looking more for general knowledge? Or are you looking more like actually for kind of like a list of the deities and stuff? What are you looking for?
What I was getting at there, Nathan, was like get an idea of, because I would imagine.
But
that
you were
the
at-
books.
I was gonna say you're asking Salix, so are you asking for Salix's general knowledge, or are you saying that you guys should look in the library?
Yeah, I'm asking Salix for his general knowledge of like what deities might like be
Right.
patrons of the sort of thing that we're investigating.
Right.
Well, we definitely had some. Well, we haven't run into personally, but we've had in our travels, we've run into a statue of Lolth. There was that very large statue of Orcus. Those two come to mind right now that we've seen in the last 2 months, or been relevant to us.
Those
All
are the
right.
two,
Well,
but you know that neither of
I would
them
imagine
really have.
you've been here before. I would imagine.
I was gonna say you Clarissa, you're aware of those two, but neither of them seem to have like I mean, Orcus is more of a demon lord himself, and this is knowledge that Salix would have. Orcus is more of a demon lord himself, but not necessarily an individual who would. Well, no, I guess he would. No, he would actually have a little bit of that kind of. Like, it wouldn't be a far stretch from his followers to practice some form of necromantic ideals or something like that. Wouldn't be a far stretch. You could see that happening.
Well, since I imagine, and you've been here before, so you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I would imagine that the tomes in this library are somewhat organized by deity, right?
That's possible. Some sections might be.
Why don't we concentrate our search on tomes related to Orcus and specifically rites and rituals involved in praising or beseeching him or something like that. I have a suspicion that some sort of religious link, as much as it pains me to say it, might be the missing link here in our understanding. Since the things we've witnessed don't seem to fit into any one box. You know, you get what I'm saying? I think there might be something else going on here, and I might be jumping to conclusions, but it seems like this city is focused on the worship of all gods. Then wouldn't it stand to reason that someone extraordinarily devoted to one god might seek to usurp that balance in favor of their particular flavor of divine being?
Suppose it's possible. Can I look around the room? Do I see Judar there?
Yeah, you see him.
I'm gonna wave him down.
Okay, you wave him down, and he comes on over and says, "Yes. So what can I help you with?" And he looks down and says, "You're very small. How can I help you?"
These are two more of my companions. This is Tyrion Froston and Clarissa the Magnificent.
Pleasure to meet you. How can I be of service?
Well, Clarissa here is looking for a very specific subject. Perhaps you could point her to which part of the library we should start our search.
Oh, and what subject is that?
Clarissa?
Well, I would like to know more about the rites and rituals employed by followers of Orcus to gain his favor or beseech his aid or that sort of thing.
Orcus. Yes, and you see him think for a second and just kind of like hold up one finger. And Salix, you notice that his eyes kind of glaze over for a second and then.
Are they doing that thing again?
Yeah, it's doing that thing. It's doing that thing again. And he's just like, "You're going to want to head down about 4 aisles that way. Turn to your left, and that's your right. Turn to your left, and it should be there. It's probably some of the information you're looking into. That's more of the information along cultists and people who are more looking into." I don't know, controlling other individuals. Have you seen the shrine up? Have you seen his alcove? There's very rarely anybody who visits that.
I'm just a naturally curious little gnome. Don't read anything into it. I swear I'm not trying to start a cult and destroy the city. And she laughs, ironically.
As you walk away, make a deception check.
15.
The rest of you, as Clarissa walks away, you see a very worried look on Judar's face, but he just kind of leans over to you, Salix, and says, "She's kidding, right?"
Only some of the time.
All right then. Well, if there's any other information you need, I'll be here to help. And he scuttles off. Of course, you make your way down to where he indicated. You find one book in particular. Seems to kind of just talk about. The general practices of Orcus. A lot of it has to deal with the idea that the rings of hell are a place of torment, and you find that a lot of the practices have to deal with self-mutilation. They have to deal with practitioners oftentimes either being whipped or whipping themselves. Oftentimes, other individuals would make different blood sacrifices of their own blood, from what you can tell from the reading, of their own blood to Orcus. It's a very gruesome practice. You find that it even states that this tome even states that even has even has goes so far as to mention that by chopping off individual different body parts of yourself, you can actually and offering them to Orcus himself. You will be rewarded when the time comes in order for you to pass on, and you will be rewarded with a place in his domain. It's kind of what you're getting from it. It's a very black and dark, not ritual, but religion, basically. But
Nothing
surprisingly,
nothing like about sacrificing other people, though.
nothing. I mean, there's nothing about sacrificing other people. Not in this tome, anyways. The book that you're reading is more about you as kind of like Clarissa, just kind of find a lot of it very hullabaloo and just kind of like, what the fuck would anyone do this for? But you could see how people would you could see how like a person with a very charismatic and very crazed outlook on life could galvanize people to commit such atrocities in the name of this deity.
Well, that was grim. Tyrion, Salix, did you help me look first off, or did you just sort of awkwardly stand there?
Salix, you and Tyrion in another book, both of you in another book that's kind of close in that same area, mention that it sounds like that in some cults, or quote unquote cults, or some practices that have happened in the past, individuals believe that they themselves will be granted demonic powers and become demons themselves when they pass on from the material plane. But apart from that, once again, same thing. Very brutal, very kind of self-inflicted style of practice. You kind of get, you kind of lose your appetite when reading about it. It's rough to read. It's a rough read.
Which is a good thing just before dinner time. Okay, I will relate that information.
Yep, same, and just at this point, so we're in the Celestial Citadel. All right, in the library. Salix, Clarissa. One thing we haven't considered is going to the oh god, hold on. What's the guy's name with the healing rod? I can't get my laptop to work at all. I don't have any of my notes.
High Speaker Thajadil.
Thajadil, okay.
I think I see what you're getting at. Yeah, but I don't trust him, and nobody we've talked to in the city besides just the commoners seem to trust him either.
That's true, but if I can get close to him, I can probably tell if what he's doing is in any way related to what else is going on. And besides, we're super curious about that staff, and we've clearly found all we're going to find from books.
Yeah, that's true. Sorry this didn't pan out, guys. I
actually forgot that this is exactly the library that Salix was in. So
the question becomes, though, how do we get close to him? I mean, we tried the I'm sick, I need help route, and that went spectacularly well.
Well, we pander to his ego. We uncovered a fiendish threat in his city, and we need a practitioner of the light to get rid of that threat.
Yeah, that's true. And
Who
you
better?
and Salix, as authentic religious figures, probably hold some credence with him, I would imagine.
Not if he's involved with what he's doing, but yeah, that will be.
Alright.
So,
So,
Do you
do you wanna
suppose that?
yeah, let's go to the main.
Sorry.
I'm sorry?
Do you suppose these two things are closely related? Both the Butcher and Thajadil's sudden acquisition of this miraculous rod?
Well, there is clearly a lot going on in the city, and the more dots we can possibly connect, then perhaps we can find a way forward.
I wish we could know what Skills knows. Clearly, he'd been watching this situation for weeks and decided to blow his cover in order to act directly.
Well, hopefully Karma and Riven will have some luck on that front.
Yeah.
They are the best suited for this sort of thing, after all.
All right. Well, that is an excellent thought, Salix. Why are we giggling?
Which is leading me to dying. Okay, hi. Back.
I guess I wouldn't even hear that giggling. He's somewhere else.
Nope. I'm in a completely different plane.
Okay.
Well, very well. Yeah, let's.
You have an inkling about what we're dealing with. You suppose that Dara was transporting children here for use in these sacrifices?
It is entirely possible, but Skittles' time is running out. So if we're gonna move on that, we need to do that tonight.
Yeah.
Don't disagree with you.
All right. Well, let's head back to the Brass Tiger then.
Okay, the rest of you make your way out.
The High
Amiral.
Magister will still be there in the morning.
Yep, Amiral. Unless you're wanting to try and talk to him tonight.
No. Let's go talk to Candyman.
So, Amiral, while they're doing that, you take some time. Okay. Amiral, you take some time and looking at the book, or looking at your blade and looking at the reflection. Nothing seems to catch your attention. Everything seems to just be still. The water continues to trickle on by. The blade stays as still and as perfect as it normally is. The sweet scent of aromas and flowers and just the smell of the earth surrounds you in this space, but nothing extraordinary or any voices seem to come to you at this point.
So I sheath my blade back.
Okay.
Go back to praying, tend a bit more, and then I'll make my leave.
Okay. You all eventually make your way back to the Brass Tiger. You all eventually make your way back to the Brass Tiger. Karma and Riven, you guys make your way there a lot earlier than the other team does. And it's a little more busier in here than you're used to. There's people drinking. There's actually a band. There's kind of a band playing. There's like a small band playing in this corner. The fire is stoked and lit. You see the barkeep passing out drinks left and right as people hand him gold pieces. Your normal spots that you normally sit in are currently not occupied for the moment. But you do notice that in the center of the tavern, there's a there's a loud group of individuals standing around the main fighting ring that is in the middle of this tavern, and they're all singing "ha ha!" and and you see a few of them slapping down coins and passing them over to other individuals. As from what you can see, 2 individuals are dragging a person's body out of the ring itself, and you see just a bloody mess, like a fairly bloody mess, but like he's still able to stand and just kind of pushes everyone away and just takes another drink, and goes up to, like, is able to, like, with some help, make his way up to his room. But you also see another individual in the kind of just leaning against the side of the rings, currently drinking a beer, saying, or drinking some form of ale, saying, "He didn't put up much of a fight, did he?" Ugh. And just continues to drink. "Is there nobody here who can best me in combat? Ugh. What a horrible night this has been."
What's this guy look like?
Thinner individual. You recognize him. He's got kind of that braided black hair in a ponytail, and just kind of bare, like, not wearing a shirt or anything, just kind of wearing pants. Well muscled individual. More on the thinner side though, and he just kind of says, "Oi, give me another drink. I need it." Takes another. Somebody rushes off to give him another drink. So well for tonight. And you do recognize him. It's the same guy who was, like, passed out drunk at the end of the bar the first night you arrived here. It's probably approaching.
Is he
probably
marked
approaching
in any way?
Not marked in any way from what you can see, and it's very clear to see he is just an individual.
I'd like to go and just grab like a glass of ale or something and go and take a seat a ways away.
Okay, you do. You all are in the Brass Tiger, just relaxing, enjoying some beer and ale. It's probably approaching around 8 to 9 o'clock in the evening at this point when you all recongregate.
Okay, so Riven is not fighting this guy.
Nick wants to.
What is Riven?
So,
What does Riven
like
want to
some
do?
random dude in a bar for the fuck of it. So
Yeah, that's fair.
Riven's not going to.
Very well. I'm gonna gather everyone in the corner.
Yep, go for it.
And
Fan strikes up
somewhere around a crowd, and certainly somewhere where it's noisy.
Yeah. Easy enough.
Yeah, I figured. But be like, all right. I apologize. Got a little off course and distracted by the possibility of fiendish activity here, but our associate Skittles is on a ticking time clock, and Salix and Karma, from the fact that you haven't told us, I'm assuming that you did not have any luck in your search for...
Yeah, we didn't. I was new information.
I'm sorry, Riven and Karma. Okay, so no new information. I feel like it's time that we try and break into this prison.
Okay, let's for 1 second. I can't believe we're going to do this. But what do we do if we run into trouble?
Well, we don't have to do this, Salix. Do you have another suggestion?
I don't. I just want to make sure that if we're breaking the law, then we are on the wrong side of it. I don't think it's not something I can.
Are we though? I mean, it sounds like everything is. We're all together, right? Or am I just talking there?
You're all.
We are all together, and
Okay.
we're kind of.
It sounds like the law is here, kind of just made up by a group of people who pull the strings, and they want Skittles in jail because they want Skittles in jail and executed. I mean, it's not.
It's not them who's guarding him. It's going to be a group of Stormblades. And if they get in your way, what are you going to do?
Perhaps we can just overawe them into surrendering him.
That is an idea.
I certainly think that ideally we would strive to avoid confrontation, but if confrontation came up, we've incapacitated enemies before. There is something very odd going on. I don't feel like we can rule out the Stormblades as being involved, though certainly, yes, it would be regrettable if innocent men doing their jobs were to die for this, especially since we don't know what he knows or if it will help us, but I see no other options. We have the sneaky route. Discretion is our best course of action.
I was able to get an idea of when the guards change shifts, so at least
There's
we'll
that,
be able
and
to...
we could always attempt to bluff our way past. Besides, prisons are for keeping people in. It's not illegal to break in. Breaking someone out, that's illegal.
Not if they're dead.
We're not gonna kill him.
Way to
You
take
know,
it down a minute.
you don't want to kill him, do you? Seems very unlikely.
Breaking him out. It seems like we haven't had any luck with the
Well, we
book.
certainly don't have to. I mean, I'm not sure breaking him out is even where we need to go. Salix, if we talk to him and he deserves to be there, we can certainly
Well,
leave him there
hold on.
to
Hold
allow
on.
the law to.
Hold on a second. Emerald, you just gave me an idea.
Not that I have the idea, but the thing is with that, I do have a spell that puts somebody into a state that's pretty much like death. Without magic, you cannot tell.
That
Yeah, we
actually could be very
we
interesting.
overlap it a lot, it seems.
Shadow, there's a message for you. In
I got it, yeah.
Well, that's much probably safer than my suggestion. My suggestion was we just let them kill him, and then get the body and find a way to bring him back, which we know is possible.
Yes, but that sounds. Well, we would need a literal miracle. I say we try and talk to him while he's still in prison.
Okay, so
See what he can tell us, and go from there. I don't like this any more than you do, Salix. This is quite possibly the riskiest thing we've done yet, but I feel we are left with no options, and we are certainly left with little time.
Can't be worse than fighting an elf demigod. I mean, that was pretty fun.
We'll say. Okay. Is anyone opposed to this plan?
I am, but we're going.
I'm
Okay.
Salix.
Well, I don't think any of us here will think less of anyone who opts to not go forward.
Would you feel better if we don't purposely kill any guards? If we kind of just
We are certainly not
sustain-
purposely
not
killing any
sustain,
guards,
that's
right?
not the right word. That's what I mean. Like, it seems like your only opposition to this is that guards might get hurt. I mean,
That
maybe we
is
can try to
exactly
sleep
the
them.
problem. Yep.
Okay.
I
Kinda
am
what they
not
signed up
good.
for.
I am not good at the subtlety. If I start slinging spells, I can't promise that somebody won't get hurt. So I don't know how useful I would be in that capacity.
So, what is our end goal here?
We need to get the Skittles, and we need to speak to it and possibly get them out.
Well, certainly,
We know.
I mean, I think our only chance at success is stealth, period.
we've got the side entrance. There's also, I mean, are they gonna transport him after they pretty much decide he's going to die? Like, is that gonna be like a public execution, or?
Yeah, we
Oh,
learned
it's gonna
from
be a.
the married beaver and the guards that we spoke to there that he'll probably be hanged on the pillars at Providence Square.
So
Always get him then.
I mean,
that
as
does
far
open
as
up
it's
another
going to be
option.
a big public turnout, as far as the city knows that they believe he's the butcher.
And they absolutely don't care the fact that we have evidence that he's pretty much not. So
Well, they've been
Still
given that
dying.
evidence, so if they choose to act on it, they choose to act on it. In the meantime, I
Did you guys
think we
find
should take
anything-
action ourselves.
Did you guys find anything further on the actual butcher?
No,
I found that there are some pretty messed up religions that I had not heard of before, but no, nothing more on the butcher.
Well, instead of risking life and limb and possibly hurting those who don't deserve it, I mean, what if we worked it from that angle and try and find the actual butcher, present
In
him
a day?
to the council?
Well,
Well, it's-
that's what we've been trying to do.
Either one is a far stretch. I mean,
as Tira just said, that's what we've been trying to do. So what
And
we're
we've
gonna
had little success. If you have an avenue down that line that has not been explored, this is definitely the time to.
So you're
Raise
stating
it.
that we should go out and find this thing?
I mean,
I think
and
that's exactly what he's saying.
the last option I can think of, which is absolutely a long shot, and by no means something I'd recommend, but just want to put it on the table here. There is the slimmest chance that that staff of that rod could be demonic in nature, we were thinking, could be linked to this whole thing. We could go for it. We could
Oh,
go
you
for
mean the
him.
staff? You mean the black staff?
No, not the black staff. The thing that the guy was using to.
Dajadel's rod.
Yes,
Del's
that
rod,
thing.
yeah.
we're not
You know,
doing
if
phrasing
you're thinking
anymore.
That's not good. Then we could try to go after that, and that could be linked. But again, I'm basing that off of.
As much as we would all love to get our hands on Tharchadil's rod, I feel like we need to get more information from Skittles.
Yeah.
Okay,
They
so
will.
that's-
They didn't seem to really trust you too much, but they trusted the fact that we were Grey Cloaks. Do you think maybe using that info would swing an audience with Skittles?
Absolutely not. You were there when
No,
we
we tried
Okay.
Yeah.
to convince them to let us speak to him.
and under no
Name dropped all of
circumstances-
our contacts in Eros, and we were.
Yeah, not Eros. What about Blackstaff Lady?
That's not gonna help. No.
Well, they wouldn't let us speak to her. That just. There's absolutely no way we could swing something like that in time.
The Masked Lords have given explicit orders that he is to speak to no one.
Okay.
Well, we do know, what's his face?
Yes, I know exactly who you're talking about.
I think
Sarah.
it's safe to say that we don't. Well, we don't even know if he's in the city, and if he
Well,
is, he did not.
We do have a fairly good way to contact him if he is in Eros.
Who
I mean,
are we
we could
talking
always.
about?
Sarah.
Werecat Boy.
Dran Briar Voxera.
Dranbriar Bucks,
No, no, I thought we were talking about Werecat Boy.
Because
Workout
we could
boy.
always send a message to our contact in Eros. He could easily get a hold of Voxera night or day. I mean, it's something we could do. It sounds like if one of the Masked Lords at least takes our side on this, we could at least get a stay of execution for some time, probably.
Sounds like the
very well,
Masked Lords
Karma.
are the
I'm
ones
gonna
who want
just-
him dead, though.
While he's saying that, tear off a piece of the magic
I
parchment. I
have
believe
it.
I have. You have it. Where,
I
where
have
did I
it.
give that to you?
The mural's got it.
I had it when we were writing down the first bit of information,
Okay.
and people entrusted me with it
Okay.
because it is on my D&D.
Yeah, I remember it. She has it.
All right, that's fine. She has
I
it.
think she does.
All right,
Yeah, I
good idea,
remember her
Karma.
riffing something. and
Why
writing
don't
it,
you
but
do
that's-
that? But we again have no. We have no guarantee that he'll be able to do that. That he'll be able to get back in time, or that Dranbriar will even take our side. He is a masked lord. That is the definition of two-faced. We have no idea what kind of man he actually is.
Our regardless of what we decide to do tonight, Tyrion, we need a contingency plan when whatever we decide to do doesn't work. We've got to save Skittles. So I think we should be ready and willing to intervene at his execution and cause a gigantic scene, which we are good at doing.
That is an excellent point.
Nothing
However,
bolts of lightning.
those plans are not mutually exclusive.
Could the Vista arrange for passage out of the city? Karma?
For information, they seem to be able to arrange
Well,
anything. And if
what-
we talk to Skittles, we would have some very valuable information.
We have that. We've got names of masked lords. We've got. Sorry to pull this card. Not that we're gonna give you up, but do they know that you're worth a couple million gold? Would that info enough be worth?
Isn't that
Well,
exactly
with-
the information they blackmailed us with in the first place?
Well, different grouping. Different order, I guess. Also,
Fair enough.
they don't know she's in the city. We could just tell her that we think she's in the city. I mean,
Okay,
it's
so-
true info and still not giving her up. 'Cause we're not going to give you up, obviously.
At
But
this point, I'm not even paying attention. I'm going through my spell book.
that's
Okay.
not rude at all. Good.
Clarissa, what contingency plan do you recommend?
Attack public execution, cause giant scene to create mass panic, snatch Skittles, run to Lyceum, and GTFO. Yeah.
Kid GTFO fair.
Interesting. Okay.
The
Right.
other option, which I don't really condone because we'd have to murder an innocent person to do it, would be to
Then
have...
that's off the table.
Yeah. I'm just saying, if we were to cause an attack that looked like a butcher's attack right before his execution, then we might be able to cast a reasonable doubt over the city executing him for being the butcher.
There's already
I
been one
mean-
yesterday or this morning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm thinking let's not become murderers to throw them off the... Let no murder. I'm just gonna...
I wasn't saying just, well, we wouldn't necessarily have to kill a civilian. I'm sure we could find a thief or criminal or, I don't know.
Bounty
The city's filled with nasty people.
Well,
They
Okay.
mistook
let's
the-
call that
fight
plan
we just had.
not happening.
They
I am
did
staunchly
mistake the
against that
fight
plan.
that we just had as being the butcher's work. I remember them saying.
As you're having
That's
this
true.
as you guys are all having this conversation, there's a loud "oh" and "oh" and "yeah" and shouts from the fighting pit as it appears as though the individual who was requesting to find somebody to fight has found another bout and has began fighting again at this
What kind of
point in
fight is it?
time.
Like-
There's a large group around. You can't really tell.
Okay, can I hear if it sounds
You're-
like
you're
people are
you're
punching
hearing-
the shit
you're-
out of each other?
you're
or
hearing
is
just
it
like-
sword fight?
Like you're hearing like smacks and like what really sounds like kind of like the punching of like fist to face or fist to
Okay,
like
so they're
like
beating the
it,
shit out of
it's
each other,
it
okay.
sounds like they're beating the shit out of each other.
I was trying to figure out if it was like a bare knuckle brawl or sword fight.
I mean, it sounds more like a bare knuckle brawl from what you can tell, and as it continues, you just kind of hear an angry voice eventually say, "Oi, stop! Oi, come back here! No, fucking!" And you just all of a sudden hear the voice just quiet, and then the entire crowd just goes, "Ah, yeah!" And just that person is also brought out of the ring, and seems to be unconscious at this point.
Okay, so are we acting tonight or are we waiting until his possible execution?
I think we need
Possible
to,
execution includes all of us. Acting tonight, probably just a few of us. But I mean, once
In all
once we
honesty,
start,
if we could find this creature, as Karma was saying earlier, if we could find this creature, kill it, present it to both the Stormblades and the Greyhands, we might be able to sway at least show that that is that.
None of us disagree with you. We've had this conversation a couple times now, but how do we do that?
Well, he normally strikes every other night.
And we have an entire city to watch between 6 of us?
We could try to draw him out, leave one of us out as bait.
Who's to say he would even target us? We know so little, and I do not know how to hunt a demon, or how to hunt a fiend, or... I don't think we know enough to set a trap for this.
This city's pretty damn big, right, Shadow?
It's enormous.
It's big.
Okay.
It's
I mean-
it's a little bigger than Eros, and you've only
And-
seen
And if I recall
Big
correctly,
Eros.
Eros was pretty big.
yeah, if I recall correctly, these attacks have been happening all over the
All
city
over.
Yeah.
All over.
Yeah.
You
with
remember the
no
storm?
discernible pattern.
No discernible pattern.
Theoretically, knowing how fast I am and Ymuriel can be flying, it's still
I don't have flying.
not a really possible thought that, I could get from one side of the city to the other if I needed to, right? Quickly.
It even
Shadow
even
stepping on roofs.
even at your speeds, it'd be difficult.
Stuff. Okay.
To commit the murder, to set the scene the way that it, or to like make sure, like, because from what you could tell at that scene, like that crime scene was placed specifically that way. Like even though it was like all gory and disgusting, it seemed very specifically placed the way that it was. To make the murder, set the scene, and to do it without anyone else, without people really noticing or being able to tell, apart from just like the general discovery of the body, and then getting away, and especially doing three in an evening. That's difficult, especially on a place this large. And you've seen a good chunk. You've seen like you've seen maybe about a third of the city at this point.
I don't even think I could chase them down if we needed to. If we knew where they were going to strike, I don't even think I could get there fast enough.
We cannot do anything in the vacuum of knowledge that we currently occupy. We need drastic action at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So our options are either A, let Skittles go to execution, or B, try and do something beforehand.
I vote for the latter. I vote
B is direct
we
action.
attempt to
That's what we-
infiltrate the prison this evening.
I think that's our best plan. I mean, if we go for them in the open, I mean, that's it. We basically have to
Yeah.
commit to that plan, and we probably can't come back.
Alright, so let's, we should probably get moving then. It's getting late. We need to
Precisely.
Where the
We
fuck
need
did
to-
I drop that?
We should travel lightly, and
We need to go to the Temple of Diamonds, right? Because they said Pilar would arrange for us to get there, to the island.
There was
Yes.
a boatsman that they had that could take us there successfully.
Who's got the bag of
Now-
holding?
Here's the problem,
Felix does.
sailors.
Here's-
Says it? Okay.
guys. Here's the problem.
Yes.
Only one person couldn't go into that prison.
What?
So
How does that pathway work?
They said they could take two of you, is what you remember.
okay, so they can take two of us in there. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said one. They can take two of us in there, guys. Everybody else is going to have to either go on Plan B, set up some type of a contingency plan, or sit and twiddle their thumbs.
If they could point us exactly to where this crack is, I can make us walk on water. Emerald can make us breathe underwater. We have options to get to the island.
Outside of character, I have pretty good knowledge where the crack. Like he described it pretty well, but then he also said he could get a boatsman to take us there. Correct?
Yeah.
So theoretically, we
however
wouldn't
you
need the
wanna do it.
boatsman if they
However
were
you
to
wanna
use
do it.
spells and stuff.
Yeah. So however you want to do it.
All right, so
You don't
guys,
have to take the postman.
I know where the crack is pretty much 100%. So yeah, we could walk on water. We could go underneath water, whatever.
Okay, so it was a matter of them only bringing us two. It wasn't a matter of only
Yes.
it locking after two people go through.
Yeah, I don't think the crack is going to close after two people.
I don't know. Magic's weird. It turned her into a sheep.
You're not mistaken.
And we've
Can
certainly
confirm.
seen our fair share of strangeness. All right. We should
What?
move
And-
swiftly, and we should travel light. So I'm
We
going
can
to go
get
up to
out
my
of it,
room
too.
and empty a
Not
whole
one
bunch
way.
of stuff.
Karma.
What was that, Raven?
It's not one way.
No,
Like
not
you
to my
can only
knowledge.
get
But
in and have to find our own way out.
the other problem, yeah, we have to find our own way out from what they told me. Especially if we're going to try and bring him with us, it'd be very difficult. Not to mention with the layout of the prison, it sounds like we have to get to the black cells. They have no idea how to get to them. We're gonna have to do that on the fly.
Take a prisoner.
Well, we know that the black cells are down, probably at the deepest point.
Yep.
I have to say we could probably not kill a guard and get it, convince them to take us, possibly.
Oh man, we're gonna capture one now.
Well, I mean, capturing just one step earlier than killing. If you think about it in a really dark way.
The other question is, who are we going to send in?
All of us?
We all go.
Yeah, I thought that was we're gonna water walk or swim or do something like that to get in.
Yeah,
Well-
we could always attempt to steal some uniforms.
Yeah, and Salix,
They've got
if
a
it
pretty
will
large
make you-
force. They've got to keep those somewhere.
If it will make you feel better, Salix. Well, Tyrion, there's a problem with that, though. The Stormblades we've seen have all been human, and you are rather too tall for a human, and I'm rather too short.
We have seen an elf stormblade
Did we? I don't,
Yeah.
Oh,
At-
well,
at
yeah.
at the Beaver.
I saw rather a lot of that one. Never mind. But
Yeah.
I do think it's worth pointing out that the majority of them are human, which is going to be a problem for me.
Yeah, there are no gnome stormblades.
Okay.
You could be-
Well,
Clarissa, could you be
Take
not
your child to work day?
a gnome? Is that something you're capable of doing?
Could I be not a gnome? Let me
Yeah.
try. And she's going to close her eyes and like squeeze her face really tight.
Well,
And
you
go.
were an accidental sheep yesterday.
Accidental being the operative word.
Okay, I didn't know if you had any.
We know how to polymorph things?
Or does anybody know how to go invisible? Or
No, not
is there any spells that we can? Okay.
I don't know
I
how to
can
go.
I can pull myself into another plane for a short period of time, but it's a brief period of time, and it takes a lot of effort for me to do that. I can't do it very
to
often.
be honest, if we're just wanting to make somebody appear different, I am pretty darn good at disguising people.
No, no, nope,
You can make her
Wow.
taller.
Wow.
nope. So much nope.
I
No.
think we should just draw on her face.
You
and
build
try.
like a clockwork, like a mech suit, make you bigger.
Yeah, if I had about a year and an infinite supply of magical crystals,
Oh,
I could build an awesome mecha battlesuit type deal.
Okay. All right, let's bring this all together here, guys. So
What's the plan, guys?
our plan is we're going to go there. Emerald, you can get us to breathe underwater, correct? I remember that. I think we played Cars Underneath Water, right?
Yes, you did.
we've
Okay, so Emerald, is that something you can do?
Not today.
Oh,
Okay.
How
You
about
said,
Salix? Can you make us walk on
Salix,
water?
you said water
you can
walking?
make us walk on water, but that's
Can you
not
do
a
that
very
today?
stealthy approach to a tower in the middle of a lake.
well, it is dark.
It is dark, and
It
I
is-
could
at this point, it is getting pretty dark. It's.
I
you can
could
look
cast-
outside.
I could cast darkness on my belt, and we could all just stay close to each other, walk across the water. We wouldn't have a way to see outside of that, though. But nobody would
Wouldn't
be
that
able
just
to
be
see
a
us.
giant blob? Wouldn't that just be a giant void traveling across the water?
Yep, but in this darkness, it'd be hard. It'd
Okay.
be difficult to. It'd be difficult to see.
So
Is
would
there a-
we.
What's the weather-
I would like to
is
point
it-
out, because Amural actually asked this originally tonight. She actually asked this. The moon is approaching full at this point.
Yeah.
It's probably about
Okay.
It's probably about 6 to 8 days away from being a full moon.
What's the climate like? Is there wouldn't happen to be like a thick fog that is produced at dusk or dawn like there
You
are?
have no
there
clue.
is- We've
I
been
mean, you
there for-
remember that in the morning there was a thick fog. There was like a decent amount of fog that was going through the streets, so it's very possible. You also remember that today has been a very cloudy day. So, looking out at the nighttime, it's also like as you look out the window, you do see that the moon is fairly often obscured by clouds shifting over it. So
Okay, well, let's at least start walking there, and we can decide.
Well, hang on, guys. First, we need to send word back to Eros, one way or the other. So let's write a couple notes, and let's just let him know what we're doing, what our plan's going to be, that we're going there, that we're going to try and attempt this. That way, if he doesn't hear back from us, then he knows what happened.
I would say even that, I think our best bet would be to take him after. I think we should probably try to convince at least one of them, or get our contact to look in to see if he's even still there in Arrows.
I'm
Well, you
not.
have the paper.
I'm not talking about Voxerith anymore. I'm talking about.
Felix?
Yeah, Felix. Like, we should just let him know that we're going to go in.
Sure. I mean, just all you gotta do is tear off a little piece of paper.
I hand one of the 4 pieces I have to Tyrion. I
Give it to Karma.
I slide over the karma. I'm not comfortable with doing this. Going to a prison? No. I'm not comfortable.
Neither are we.
Okay, well, Amiral, no one will hold it against you if you decide not to count this as a very dangerous.
Not to mention, if we don't return, we
undertaking.
could always take word back.
However, if we are going to act, we need to do so soon. Or if we are not going to act, we need to have a very good sense of what we're going to do. So,
Which Amiral's point is a valid one. I'm going to turn and look to everybody. If any of you are uncomfortable with this in any way, I personally don't think there's a great chance of us returning from this. If you're not comfortable with using your life in this way, then by all means stay and return and get word back to Eros.
Karma, make a perception check. Make a perception check with disadvantage.
Natural one.
Awesome.
I do have a passive perception.
It's not.
of
It doesn't.
17.
Don't worry. It doesn't matter about that. This is more. This is more for my own amusement. As Karma is standing here delivering this fairly depressing monologue, all of a sudden there's just this from back in the direction of the fighting ring. There's this, and right on the back of Karma's head goes just smashing across the back of his head a glass beer stein that just breaks and shatters all over the table onto you. Karma, you take 2 points of bludgeoning damage to the cranium. The rest of you look behind Karma and see a hole that is kind of opened and is slowly closing in the ring, or like in the ring of spectators as people have ducked out of the way, and you just still see another intense fight going on between the 2 individuals who are there. The same well-muscled guy with the braided black hair and another individual in there.
New plan, guys. Bar fight and we get arrested.
You know how we
yeah, but if we get arrested, we lose all of our equipment, and we'll be actually in prison. Plus, this seems like a sanctioned thing. I don't think anyone's arresting these guys.
So,
I don't know
What's
where
the
you
plan?
guys come from, but that was uncalled for.
I thought it was pretty funny.
random, or did someone aim it at him?
it seemed pretty random. Seemed like it came from inside the actual ring itself. Like somebody took a beer stein, flung it at their opponent, and it just kind of it missed and just happened to hit Karma in the head. Karma's now nursing that nice little bruise in the back of his head at this point.
Yeah,
What's the
I've
plan?
suddenly grown quiet, but I'm still kind of paying attention to stuff and rubbing the back of my head.
Yep,
Well, I
so-
could give a couple people the means to get into Nightstone, and then we could only send a couple.
What do you mean by that?
I could grant them water walking. You can walk across the water and get there, but
okay.
we don't send everyone in.
I'm refusing to go. I'm not comfortable going there.
Yep.
Well, from my point of view, the guards are willing to work for men who throw lives asunder for no reason, but on the same side, I mean, hate to say it, but Skittles kind of got where he was. He definitely isn't the butcher, but he was trespassing. He does deserve to be in prison. He got caught.
He doesn't deserve to be executed.
No, he definitely doesn't deserve to be executed, but that's why I'm willing to go in. I'm willing to go in and put my life on the line for his, but it's kind of a wash in my eyes.
Okay.
So I'll volunteer to go in.
We still
I-
have another
I
option.
say nay.
All right. Okay, so
Well, let's just start there. Is anybody else willing to go in?
I'm willing to go in.
I'm
not saying it's
certainly
the
willing to
brightest
go in as
idea,
I
but I'm willing to go in.
suggested it. Well,
I am willing to go in, but I don't think we should all. I don't think all of us should go in case we're captured. And then there's none of us on the outside.
fair enough. How will we know if our group is captured? Is the question.
Yeah.
Once we're in the prison, we have no means of communication with each other, and
That's not necessarily true. From our GM from our visit a couple days ago, or one day ago,
Yep,
how
yesterday.
far off was the spire from the nearest shoreline?
Looked probably about like it was a long walk.
It was connected with a very long bridge, if I remember.
Very, very long bridge. Maybe, from what you can tell, half a mile at the farthest.
And is that within range of our earrings?
It is within range of your earrings. Yes.
Okay. So long as you don't venture down into the dark cells, then you should be able to communicate.
Which is exactly where we need to
but that's
go.
where we're going.
Right. So, if
So
you
as long as we don't go to the place that we need to go, we're fine. Cool, got it.
it's a very small portion of the entire prison.
Where our target is. It's like the one place we have to go.
But most of our time probably isn't going to be spent there. Let's keep our eyes on the prize here. I think what Sailors is trying to say here, we keep up communication the entire time. If anything goes south, we can most likely call it out unless it's when we're in the black cells. If that's
Right, and
that,
then
we
what?
can't
And then
plan
if we
for
don't
that.
you come back out, then we know you were
We can't plan for that. It's
Okay,
more of
I get
it's-
that. I
it's-
understand the concept of a plan B. But the only reason we're taking this small path is because there is literally no other way to break into this place. So there's nothing we can do on the outside except know that you're condemned to a prison that we
Yeah.
can't get you out of.
That's exactly right.
And this is our best plan. If this is going to be the way it is, we may as well all go. We have a much better chance. I mean,
I mean, in all honesty,
Some of
Imperial,
us-
you're probably the easiest one to get out because you can just go cat and head back for the crack.
Well, if some
Very
of us
good
don't
point.
get caught, then they could work towards, convincing Dranbriar towards our side, or pursuing any other option that we haven't found yet. This is just a terrible
Okay.
plan. This is just a bad plan.
As
I
you're
agree
as
completely.
you're
It's
talking,
a bad,
around
bad
the
plan,
city
but
for
I
3
don't-
days doing fuck all though.
as you're talking, the scroll that Karma had sent off to Felix reappears right in front of Karma, and Karma, you unroll it. You read a message that looks like the same handwriting that was received earlier from Felix, and it says something along the lines of, from what Felix can tell, Dranbriar is still in Eros. However, he has left a proxy in Plona to act in his stead. That
See it.
individual,
Wouldn't that be his?
that's and as Amuriel's kind of reading over this, and like as she reads through that line, and Karma, your brain kind of gets there a little faster than Muriel does.
Son.
You do remember hearing that Dranbriar did leave, or Dranbriar had a son that was working with him, or a son and a daughter actually that were working with him on his business ventures. So
Do we know that Baylor and Alwyn are in this city?
you're not sure, but you are aware that that he had just returned from Plona, and it seemed as though he returned alone.
So maybe that's the better choice. We should go speak to Baylor.
Because talking to people has been working out so well for us.
What other option is there, Ryven?
Would you rather
given
be
options.
imprisoned?
You not.
We could always use that as a backup.
Things to back up. Let's just fucking do something. We spent days in the city doing almost nothing.
I'm going to ask this, and what is the plan? What are you doing tonight?
I'm not going.
Decide for your character. What is your character doing tonight? If your character wants to, if your character is going and you're doing that, commit to it. If your character is not going, commit to it.
I'm not.
Yeah, the prison break-in is a terrible idea because so many things could go wrong.
I'm inclined to agree. Besides, if our objective is going to be to not harm any guards, I am very bad at that, so I would rather not leave Emerald alone.
Alright, well, very well. Then let's
Sounds like
go visit us a Master Lord proxy.
Okay.
so. It is currently about 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock in the evening at this point in time.
We'll have to wait till the morning.
It's getting
To wait
pretty-
till the morning, this is an
it's
urgent
getting
matter.
it's
How many
getting
days do we
pretty
have
late.
left until he's executed? At this point?
Tomorrow.
They
Awesome.
decide tomorrow.
decide
we don't know
tomorrow.
when he's going to be executed.
Okay, but we have to assume that it's tomorrow. I mean, because it could be.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we can't operate under the assumption we're going to have extra time, is all I meant.
Yeah.
We covered that.
I'm gonna take a look around and see if anyone's paying any particular mind to our whole gander of conversation.
Perception check.
26.
They're all enthralled by the fights that have been going
Wow, that's
on
a
tonight.
huge dice, man.
They are all phrasing. They are all enthralled by the fights that have been going on this evening. No one seems to be paying your group much attention. You do start to, at this point in your conversation, you do see the crowd start to disappear. The individual who's been winning all of the fights apparently is kind of like pulling himself out of the like his most recent opponent just got pulled out of the ring as well, and he's kind of like kind of jumping over the railing that encircles this area and is heading over to the bar, slapping down his winnings and just taking a bunch of drinks at this point. So that's what you see with your perception check.
Okay.
So apart from that, what are you guys doing tonight?
Are we gonna go try and find Voxeriths tonight? They're not gonna see us.
Bueller.
I mean, at the
They might see us if I present myself as a member of the Institute and claim it's about Brea, which it sort of vaguely, loosely might be.
Not to mention if we present ourselves as such that we know that they're the proxy of a masked lord. That's not general knowledge, and somebody who does know that, it's going to get a lot of attention right away. It'd be a bold strategy, but we would definitely get their attention, and they'd definitely either see us or try and have us killed.
yeah, well,
Just throwing it out
we
there.
know there's an injustice going on. We've attempted the roundabout routes of research. One way or the other, it is time to get some answers, and this proxy will have those. And certainly, that is one way to near guarantee that, even if things go wrong, we're probably going to end up seeing a masked lord.
And at least this way, we don't have to possibly kill or injure anybody.
That's true. Worst comes to worst, we end up in prison, the place we're trying to break into.
I want to... Hey, Emerald, do you have that piece of paper? I want to borrow that real quick. I want to take off like a really tiny slip and just say, "How to contact proxy?" Question mark.
I cut off a half section of the letter portion, so I have a 2.5 pieces now, and I hand it to Karma.
Okay, you do as such. You
All
type
right.
it
While that's
right
happening,
in.
I'm going to tell the group I'll be right back. Go upstairs, quickly take a whole bunch of crap out of my backpack, all of the unnecessary stuff.
Yep.
So basically, just ropes, a torch, and my weapons are what I have on me.
All right, you leaving your shield, or are you taking your shield with you?
No, the shield goes where I go.
All right, you've got your shield with you.
Sorry, that
Just double-
I
I'm
include
just double-
shields,
I'm
my
just
shield
double
as a
checking.
weapon
Just double checking. All right,
because the way I use it, it is.
so
All right, whatever we're going to do, we should do it now.
I'm gonna just kind of mentally prepare myself, drop off any unneeded stuff as well.
Yep.
Get ready to go
Take
and
some-
wait
it
for the
takes-
response.
you all take
Do
your
we have
appropriate.
Do we have any inkling of where the Voxerith Trading Company presence within Plona is?
Well, Riven and I visited earlier today.
That was basically the only thing we managed to figure out today.
Secondly, is the curfew still in effect? Can we even walk out in the street
You don't know.
if it's like midnight? No. Well,
You can always try.
I mean, we're out on a bar. There's people out on a bar. Clearly, people are going to be able to walk out.
I mean, you see people walking out of the bar. Like they're not. There's not like people just going upstairs and going to bed. Like there are people walking out of the bar. So it's
like
very
the
possible.
bridge quarantine where the Stormblades have been raising the bridges each night.
They've been sectioning off different portions of the city where they think that there's going to be an attack. They've not
Okay.
been successful so far.
All right, any response?
Nope.
All right, I haven't gotten a response yet, so let's just go where Riven and I visited earlier today. Be insistent. Do you guys, anybody else have any other ideas?
No, let's go.
No, this is a good idea. I'm going to put my hood up and walk briskly out the door.
All right, you walk out the door. Taking
Following.
everyone follows.
Yep.
Begrudgingly, I throw my hood up because I'm probably going to be left alone and follow the group.
All right.
Well, yes, because we're all going this way, and you're the only one who wants to do nothing. So,
So you guys start making your way through the streets. You make your way to and fro, all throughout the area.
cool.
So you make. Sorry, I'm just double checking something. Okay.
So I heard like a sort of like wind tunnel effect, and I was
Yep.
like, "Yo, is he using like creepy sound effects now? Because that
Mate.
would be boss."
I'm still okay. So as you make your way through the streets, you eventually find the same place that that Karma and Riven found. It looks like just a 2-story building. It says Voxerith Trading Company over it. Like there's a sign that's hanging up. It's in the more like kind of business portion of the town. Takes probably about 30 minutes to 45 minutes to get there. Lights are out. Nothing seems to be going on in the house itself. It's not really. It's more like it looks. From what you can tell, just looking at it from the outside, it looks like a very like structured place of business, place where files would be kept, different things like that. That's what you all see.
Okay.
Well, I suggest that one of us who can act in like a semi-official capacity knock on the door, I suppose. Probably either Salix, Tyrion, or myself.
You guys do that. I'm gonna go take a look around back. I'll be right back.
Karma, before you go, what was
Yeah.
the name? Was there a name on the note? Because I didn't see the note.
Was there?
Was there a name on the note?
Yeah.
Oh,
OOC
I got you.
was there.
For the proxy,
Yes.
For the proxy.
there was no name.
I thought so.
Uh,
I will
there's
go up and knock on the door.
I'll make my way around back. I'm gonna look for back entrances, etc., etc.
All right.
Is it just me up there, or Salix?
Yep, I'm right behind you.
Alright.
So
As am I.
Tyrion,
I'm off to a little bit.
all
Like
right,
I'm
so,
not with them.
So Tyrion, yeah, I gotcha.
Wait, Karma, you
Five
said you're
steps
right behind me? I thought you were looking for...
Karma is looking for other stuff.
Right, okay.
Ryman's kind of just offering you guys. Knock on the door, no response. Karma, you dart around back. You try a few of the windows. All of them seem to be kind of locked at this point. You do find a back door that is currently, as you push on it and lean on it, is also currently locked. But there is a back door, and there's windows. Like it looks like a very easy place that would like you'd be able to like get into if you need to. But
Yeah.
but
Okay.
Okay, so this is clearly like a business, not like a residence.
it's what's appearing.
Okay. Is the
Always
front
go
door
in.
locked? I mean, I'm gonna like push on a little. Is
Push
it?
on it. Door appears locked. Yep.
Okay, doesn't budge. Got it. I'm.
I could always go in and have a look, see guys, see if there's anybody here, maybe asleep. If there is any rooms.
Karma
Perhaps
says
you
just
could
as he
go
rounds
and.
the corner back to the front of the place.
Okay. Perhaps if you're going to break in, what you should look for is a place where we might actually find this proxy, say, some sort of property owned by the Vixerith, some residence. Certainly, a family with that much money and influence would have a residence in such a nearby major city.
Okay.
Can you, what's your best option for getting in?
There's a back door. I'll go in through there if that's what you think is best.
Excellent. Do you wish to go in alone, or?
Riven, maybe a little bit of backup.
Isn't he in the back?
I'm up front with it.
He's
Oh,
like
you're-
walked
No, he's
back
backed up.
around front.
Okay, I was like, 'cause I don't know.
He's
if I
not.
can
He's
hear-
not
yeah,
being
I'll go
super
with him.
stealthy. He's not being super stealthy at this point. He's just.
No,
kind
we're
of
just
walking.
kind of
I'm gonna go super stealthy. Go be
all out there.
Karma, you and Ryan make your way back. Go ahead and make your dexterity check. Plus your proficiency bonus.
Okay.
So-
Before I walk away from the front door, because I'm not gonna just stand by the front door. Gotta just look in the windows, see if I see any kind of activity that there
22.
might be any person in there
Okay.
while Karma's breaking in the back.
You glance in. Your view is obscured by some curtains. You do manage to kind of peek into one that wasn't drawn as tightly as it could be. And you can see what appears to be different desks kind of situated about. Seems to be a little bit of moonlight coming in, or a little bit of light from the just ambient light from the outside. You with your dark vision are able to see pretty clearly. You see some kind of cabinets in there, some different things that just kind of look like they would hold papers. There's appears to be a amount of papers and stuff stacked on the actual desk itself. Karma, without a problem, you just door opens.
I'm just keeping an eye out. I'm just leaning up against the wall and looking
Yep.
down the street.
Yep.
All
Okay.
right. So when I go in, I want to obviously take a look and make sure that there's nobody in the immediate vicinity. Then I'll go in and I'm gonna start searching through any rooms that I can find. Obviously, being careful, checking into each room as I go. I want to find some type of a, real estate listing or some type of a reference to where we might find, the information that we're looking for. Just where to find the people we need to talk to.
Okay. Investigation check.
Come on. This one I do get +6 though. Yeah, 19.
As you're walking in, you manage to like there's like 2 rooms that seem to separate, that seem to be on this lower level. Kind of this more back room, which seems to just be full of just storage and boxes and different things like that. Different crates are in this room. As you push forward into the next room, you do kind of find like yourself in the main room, with stairs leading up off to your left-hand side, from what you can tell. You search around on the desk. And you search around on the desk. You search around in some of the areas. Just on like this top layer of the desk, you see different business deals, different transactions of shipments of different goods and business, animal goods, cotton, fleece, food. You see mention of different spices to over to Serene from farther down south. You see mention of dealings with Draconia. You see the transportation of a mending, of what you can tell is of what just reads as mending wheel. You see the transportation of different magical of different items and artifacts to Eros, up towards Danforth itself, and just kind of all over the place, especially within the country of Zebros. As you're checking the desk, you do find one drawer appears to be locked, and you also on the top of the desk do happen to find a single-handed scroll note that just says, "Meet me at." It just says, "Meet me at." Fucking hell! God damn it! Why can I not find this in my notes?
Meet me at some weirdly vague place.
Meet me at fucking hell, goddammit. That sounds like a terrible place. Not just for meetings, just generally.
Meet me at the Sunset Ribbon, it says meet me at the Sunset Ribbon this evening. That's what it says. And it is signed. It's signed W.T. Is what it's signed.
I'm gonna put it back where it was.
Okay. Do. It's probably that's most of what you find at this point.
You said there was a locked drawer, correct?
Locked drawer. Yeah.
I'll try and open it.
Okay. Go ahead and same thing. Dexterity with plus proficiency modifier.
Oh, that's a 18 plus 6, so 24.
Okay. As you click it, as you click and open it, you pull the drawer open, and as you do pull it open, there's a bright flash of light as whatever contents are in it are like, and you get a quick, brief glimpse of it. Like it's like a bunch of different papers, a few different items, what appears to be a small bag, and what appears to be a round glass orb. All the items that are in it are just wiped completely away, and just a brilliant flash of light, gone. And at the bottom, you see a small little circle that's embedded in the bottom of the.
I'm gonna duck away from the circle like as soon as possible, and so that my face doesn't show. Close the drawer and then leave as fast as possible.
All right. You leave out the back door. Right, you see Ryben, just kind of a quizzical look as you walk out.
Through the earpiece, back the way we came. Fast.
As you are walking away,
I look over and I go,
and
"We need to get out of here."
As this happens, before Karma actually exits out, there is a mural you hear fairly close, the walking of some footsteps. There's a bright flash of light off to your side, coming from inside the house, and then you hear the footsteps begin to get faster and faster and faster.
At that point, when I hear it, I go, "We need to get out of here." Preferably, probably into the alleys.
So you all attempt to begin making your way out and away from this. I need a stealth check from everybody.
Okay.
27.
Not my strong suit. I get plus like nothing. Oh, okay. Not awful. 11.
As you all make your way, as most of you make your way away, Salix, as you are like kind of just trying to hurry everyone past and through, past you, you and Tyrion are about to round the corner as torchlight just kind of streams down the alley that you're disappearing in, and there's a sharp voice that says, "Oi, hold up, you! Stop there! What's your business out here this evening?"
Are Tyrion and I in the back of the group?
It's you and Tyrion who are currently just in this alleyway with torchlight shining down on you. The rest of the group is gone. Like,
All right.
they've
So they keep going. I'm gonna turn around and grab Tyrion.
Yeah.
Boy, hello. Sorry, we're a little bit lost. Perhaps you could help us get back to our inn.
You're lost.
We're not lost, Salix. It's that way, and I'm gonna point to the direction that the guards came from. Like, I'm telling you, I can see in the dark.
We just went that way.
Then maybe we missed it.
Make a deception check, both of you.
Oh, that's
That's not. 6.
The guard looks at you quizzically, and you do see about like 4 or 5 other guards behind him, and he just he says, "All right, both of you stay there for right now. Bowen,
Why would we stay here? Our inn is not here.
Right. But we've been alerted to some funny things going on in this section of town, and we need to double check. If you have seen anything recently, we need to make sure that, or seen anything in this area, we need to make sure that nothing has been taken and that there are no individuals around here that shouldn't be. So just stay here. Belwyn and Delwyn will keep an eye on you. I'll be right back."
Was I able to notice this all happening?
You're gone. You guys disappeared. You're out.
So I did not notice then.
No, you're gone.
Okay, that's why I asked.
No, you guys are more busy trying to get the fuck away.
At this point, I'm just gonna shapeshift into a cat, knowing that shit is going, and I'm just gonna blend in.
Yep. So Tyrion and Salix, there's two human individuals who are in the Stormblade uniform, who are just kind of standing there watching you with their torches and their hands on their swords at this point. Not aggressive, but just making sure their presence is very well known right there, and just making sure you don't leave.
Gentlemen.
The individual who is talking to you walks away and walks over towards the Voxerith family estate.
In the trading company.
So he goes and checks the front door to start, and pushes on it and messes with the hinge, and door is completely locked and everything. Walks around the entire building itself, just pressing and checking on the different windows. Everything seems to be in order. As he approaches the back, and you guys can see him approach the back, just because where your guys' where the alley you were trying to sneak off into, and where the alley was that the back door is at. You guys can see him turn around the back. You'd see him continue to check the windows, kind of peering in a little bit. You see him get to about where the back door is, and he pauses and stops. He takes his hand and he presses on the door, and it opens up. He kind of just turns and stares at you and says, "Well, what do you make of this?"
Appears that someone left our door unlocked.
I don't know why you're asking us.
Not unlikely. Or
So
not
it's
likely.
likely?
No, he should have said not likely. Not likely.
I'm sorry, are you accusing us of doing something here?
Yes.
Well,
Our
that's
squad,
ridiculous.
our squadron of soldiers is alerted immediately whenever there is specific magical traps that get activated whenever something is either being attempted to be stolen or is being unlawfully taken from its normal place within this district.
Well, search us. We didn't take anything.
Will do. And he goes ahead and searches you guys. Rolls a 19 and a 16. Finds nothing of consequence on your bodies at all because you obviously didn't take anything. All right. For now, can I get your names?
My name is Salix Drenin, and this is...
Tyrion Frostdawn. Though I don't see why it's your business.
May we
It's
ask
my
your...
business it's my business in case we have any more questions in the future.
May we ask your name? An officer, you're a guard who defends the city. We don't get to know your name as well. Clearly, you don't think, or clearly we're not being taken in for any crimes.
My name is Lieutenant Boiler.
Lur?
Boiler. L-I.
Boiler.
Boiler. His parents did not love him nearly enough.
Well, I can't imagine why. He's charming.
Oh, Lieutenant, we apologize for the night that you're having, but it's not our fault. If you could, and we are.
No,
having,
it's just happened. It's just happened coincidence that you both are in the same spot. Just a few minutes after we get an alarm saying that this residence had been broken into. But since obviously you have nothing on you at this point in time that we can tell came from this place, then you are free to go. However,
Well, very well. The matter remains that...
Could you point
Go ahead.
us toward our inn? It's called the Sunset Ribbon.
the what?
The Sunset Ribbon.
Make a deception check.
Come on, baby. Oh no. 13.
They're staying at the Sunset Ribbon in those clothes.
Well,
It's
you know,
back on back on Providence Square. Large building, tapestry, like ribbons and flags on it. It's hard to miss. It's that way, and he points you back towards Providence Square.
thank you.
But
And
if I see either of you have any more sneaky business, we'll be taking you in for some more. We'll be taking you in, and you don't want to. You don't want to be headed to the Nightstone Spire, do you?
No.
No.
God damn it.
He
Be on your
says
way.
questioningly.
Be on your way then. You guys make your way off. You
Very
guys
well,
end up
let's
making your
go.
way- You end up making your way back. You eventually find yourself meeting up with the rest of the group.
Yeah, I was pretty much nearby. I just like instantly polymorphed myself into a cat, or shapeshift into a cat.
Right. You
I just-
eventually meet up with the rest of your group. It's getting pretty late. It's probably about 2 or 3 in the morning. Probably about 2 or 3 in the morning at this point in time. Streets are pretty bare.
So once the group is back with us, my face is pretty much just like blank white, just with concern, and I feel horrible. Oh my God, guys, what happened? Are you okay?
Yeah, no thanks to you.
Oh,
Look,
we're perfectly fine.
I did find
These guards in
did
this city are incredibly rude.
I did find, a lead at least. I tried. There was a drawer that was, I guess, magically locked. I should have checked for traps. I know better.
Wait,
I'm.
tell us this?
What'd you say?
Didn't you tell us this already?
I don't
We'll
think
say
so.
for the sake of brevity, he informed you about the sunset.
I'm sorry, I was under the impression that I thought you read the letter aloud on the hearing while you were in there. Did I make that up?
Yes, I did. I
Right.
guess between the whole the circumstance of whatever happened, I forgot about that. Yes, you're sorry. I'm very sorry. You're right. I am in your debt. Most definitely. I take it. Everything's okay.
Oh, we're perfectly fine. And we found out where the sunset ribbon is.
Good.
So, great success. And since you're in my debt, you can, I don't know, buy me a drink when this is all over.
I'll buy you 3.
Tyrion,
Excellent. Salix,
should we have just been criminals back there?
should we have just been criminals?
Yeah, for the sake of Lieutenant Boiler's sake. I mean, that would have gotten us in where we wanted to go.
That's true. Away from the group and completely disarmed and possibly magically locked down.
Yeah, that's true.
So, where are you guys going?
I say we go to the sunset ribbon.
All right. On your way there.
But that's
I'm
just
going
me.
to sleep. I want to go
So-
back to the inn and go
Going to the
sleep.
Brass Tiger.
So
Yeah.
Muriel makes her way back to the Brass Tiger. You're making your way back as a cat.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, you're a
Wait a
cat?
minute.
Why don't you just go to sleep in the street? That's cat. That's cat thing. Sound like a flower pot.
And Muriel makes her way back to the Brass Tiger as a cat. Makes it back without consequence.
Surprisingly.
As a
Do I
cat, you make it back without consequence. It's not that difficult.
Shocking.
Do I see
The re-
anything on the way back?
Make a perception check.
Oh God. You're gonna just go ahead. I need to find it. So
Make it.
Do it now.
Why do you ask if you see anything? He's gonna ask you to make a roll, and you say, God.
16 plus, yeah, 16.
As you're making your way back through the alleys and across the rooftops, you notice a slight little light traveling in the opposite direction that you were traveling. It's very faint. It's almost golden in color, from what you can tell.
I'm gonna follow it.
It's just out of the corner of your eye that you catch it. Like, you just barely catch it. As you try to follow it for a few blocks, and it's too fast for you. You can't keep up with it. But you see that it's heading towards kind of back the way that you just came. It's kind of,
I'm gonna travel full speed if I can. Just at least try to keep pace with the thing.
You can't. You lose it after about 3 streets. It's gone. You travel after it. Like, you go hard, but you just it darts around corners and it's gone.
Okay, I'll slowly make my way back to the inn.
Okay. You make your way eventually back to the Brass Tiger. The rest of you make your way to Providence Square, where you see a very, very ornate and beautiful, building. It's white stoned, or more kind of like like right for white stone. It's draped in different. It has different flags currently on it. It has different ribbons and things hanging off of it. Lights are still poking out through the different windows in it. And Karma, it hits you immediately that as you're looking at this is the same building you saw Weave of Thorn enter earlier today. Or technically yesterday at this point in time. Because it's about 3 a.m. in the morning where you guys are at, and it is here that we will pick up next week.